И снова привет. Меня зовут Добрый Алексей. Очередное прохождение Starfield. Как же мне эта игра нравится! Так, поехали. Так, остановился я... да, я тебя должен увезти куда-то. Не понял тебя. Я куда-то тебя должен увезти. Доктора Персила. Остаетесь? Остаетесь. Чувствую. Так, а у меня там начала? Начала. Так. Я перегружен или нет? Нет, я не перегружен. Что ж у меня тут падает? Не падать. Не падать. Так. И можно... Если тэпнуться. Да. Так, ага, мне что-то надо еще помочь. У меня есть предложение помощи. Да? Нет? Смотрю.
If you're going to use the elevators or stairs,
О, какая гравитация. Так, о. Вот мы и пришли.
Percival. My God, look at you. You're an old man now.
You're no hassling yourself anymore, Major. Our friend here showed me your sample. Suffice it to say...
Not here. Let's talk somewhere more private. Lou said we could use the back.
Ну, пойдем, пойдем. Приватное помещение? Серьезно? Подсобка? Окей.
Lou gave me the abridged version of what went down. Yeah, I can't thank you enough for taking care of all that.
Makes two of us.
I hope it ultimately didn't end up being too much trouble.
Mm-hmm.
That's certainly not what I was expecting you'd have to go through. But thank you. I'm just glad you both came through intact. So, were you two able to get that workup together?
Got it right here. That sample? It's an exact match for the ones from Londinian.
Londinian. That's exactly what I was afraid of.
Not thrilled to be the bearer of that kind of news. That's for damn sure. So tell me you've got some kind of plan for that workup.
Well, right now, we've got more questions than answers. So I've been trying to figure out what it's gonna take to access our old Terramorph data.
Good place to start. What'd you find?
It's in the archives.
The Armistice Archives? Doesn't that mean we'd be dealing with the Cabinet? And the Freestar Collective? And House Varun somehow? Guess we can kiss that approach goodbye.
I didn't think the Cabinet would be willing to hear us out either. But I called in some favors. They've agreed to hear us out on two conditions. One, they want to see this analysis you two have procured. And two, they want to discuss what happened on Tau Ceti. With both of us.
На Тауки там.
The Cabinet's the UC's highest governing body. The President, top military brass, scientific and diplomatic division heads. Any major decision the UC makes goes through them. They're the only real chance we've got of unlocking the archives. So without their blessing, we're flying blind.
Понял.
Well, when the colony war came to a close 19 years ago, with the signing of the armistice, 3 factions were involved in the negotiations. The UC, Freestar, and House Faroon. They made a lot of decisions about what sort of tactics should and shouldn't be permitted in future conflicts. All information related to the things they decided should be banned was locked away in the archives. Now, it's possible to get things out of there, but only with the agreement of members from all 3 factions. And as to what our research is doing in there, well, I'll get to that.
Так.
Well, that's about the best news I've had all day. But before you commit, I want to make sure you know the whole story. Percival and I, we're not just researchers. We were military scientists, ran a division of the UC together that deployed aliens on the battlefield as weapons.
Place I was hiding out. That was our unit's home base.
After some early fits and starts at other facilities, the place eventually became the heart of UC xeno-warfare. A practice that's been banned ever since the armistice went into effect almost 20 years ago. And the UC military cut us loose for what we'd done. No. We were both dismissed after the war for what we did. These days, we're just concerned citizens with a very particular area of expertise. Our damage has been done for a long time. Well, it was during that assignment that the UC asked us to explore deploying terramorphs on the battlefield. The project never got off the ground, but the data our team gathered is now sitting in the archives, along with all the other information banned after the colony war. Under the watchful eye of monitors from all the galactic factions still participating in regular politics. But if we can convince the cabinet to help us access that data, it'll give us the tools we need to decipher what exactly this sample might mean. And hopefully, how to prevent more attacks like the one that spawned it. Because the Terramorph project was doomed from the start. Terramorphs are too mean, too smart, too hungry to be used in combat. Trust us, we tried. The data that's in the archives, it's historical write-ups, anatomical notation, food chain analyses. I doubt they would have even classified it if it didn't have a Xeno-warfare logo on it. You have my word. It's not a threat.
Понятно, что ничего не понятно.
All right. I'm gonna go get this work up into the cabinet's hands. I'll meet you out front of Mast in New Atlantis.
Good luck. You two are gonna need it.
Long time since I've been to Mars. Sol system doesn't get a lot of traffic.
Окей.
I'm just gonna wait until that drug's in production.
Я сейчас буду улетать.
Hope nothing bad happens.
За звуки. Вот надо отсюда взять. Иду. Немножко ее съесть.
Lift off when you are, Captain.
Окей. Тут куча всего. Let's go. Меня вот волнует только то, что есть ли у меня там незаконное что-то корабле или нет. Так, ну. Сканируйте. А ну-ка.
Maintain course and prepare to be scanned.
Our scan detected contraband on board. Halt and prepare to be boarded. All illegal and stolen goods will be confiscated.
Окей,
You're on the
хорошо.
wanted list. Halt and prepare to be boarded or we will be forced to open fire.
Окей.
Copy that. Stay on course while we escort you in.
Без проблем. Я не хочу никаких проблем. Так. Полиция.
How can I help you, Captain? Captain.
Угу, все, то есть я оплатил. И все, отлично. Да, все-таки было, и мне нужно было каким-то образом эту контрабанду продать, скинуть. Черт.
Contrary to what you might have heard, UC security personnel are good people. And Sergeant Yumi just happens to be an old friend.
Так, ну... Женя, на поезд. Блин, красиво здесь.
Sidonia is an industrial town. The people there tend to be concise.
Так, мне наверх.
Captain! Over here!
Да, я тут. Я здесь
The
рядом.
workup's in the cabinet's hands. They said they'll call for us once they've gotten to properly review it. But listen, I know I should have been more forthcoming about who I was earlier. So, in the interest of full disclosure, there's one more thing you ought to know before we head up there. My relationship with the UC. It's more complicated than it might seem at first glance. The UC's actually the only reason I'm here in the first place. I am a clone. Of a man named Francois Sanon, one-time fleet admiral of the UC during the Colony War, former head of the UC Navy. They called him Ve Victus. Woe to the defeated, in Old Earth Latin. A title he earned. The program I was a part of, it was the UC's attempt to create a new generation of military minds from one of their most respected tacticians. Secure the leadership of the UC military for generations to come.
Она клон. Что она раньше не сказала?
A non-trivial amount of gene editing. Clone, honestly, isn't even really the right term for our relationship, thanks to the amount of donor material that was required to bring me into this world. He and I are different on more than a few levels, but there's no denying the fact we're inextricably linked. I'm the last. A few of my siblings, they passed when we were young. Training accidents and the like. But most of the rest were deployed to the front lines during the Colony War, and they never came back. Not a day goes by where I don't think about what the world would look like with them still in it. I'm getting there. The man I was cloned from, my father, was executed for acts he committed during the war. The man caused a lot of death, on both sides. Freestar Collective, and UC. Military, and civilians. And the things he did, well, they're a part of the reason the UC and Freestar Collective aren't really on great terms to this day. So my involvement, it could be another obstacle they throw at us up there. I just wanted you to be forewarned. He had his men open fire on civilian ships during the Battle of Cheyenne. A battle that he ultimately ended up losing anyway, devastating the UC fleet and bringing the Colony War to an ugly end for the UC. But he's also the one who ordered the bombing of the Londinian spaceport during their outbreak, condemning countless lives. Both sides agreed the settled systems would be better without him. I really appreciate you saying that. I just thought you deserved to know, considering how much you've done already. You know, while we've got a second, was there anything else we needed to discuss? I know you got dropped into the middle of this pretty fast. Or, if you've got any last-minute business to attend to, now might be a good time. No telling how long the cabinet's gonna keep us waiting out here. Eye strain from the amount of reading I've got on the horizon if we succeed. The Terramorph project never went anywhere. It couldn't. They're deadly creatures, but they aren't xenoweapons. The cabinet not opening the archives is probably a bigger risk than them handing over the files. That data itself isn't dangerous, which probably wouldn't be a bad point for us to bring up, should the opportunity arise.
Так что нам еще могут не дать данные.
Well, thinking about it more, I suspect there'd be value in sharing the fact that the Terramorph project was, well, a failure. There's no need to be afraid of this data being weaponized. Knowing that should calm some of the Cabinet's fears and make it easier for us to dispel any suspicions the other factions might have about our intentions. That's actually a souvenir from my time on Mars. The Red Devils unit I was a part of, they were founded by recruits who'd worked some of Mars' deepest mines. Folks used to adversity. The dust at those depths, it seeps into everything. The human eye included. Where the name Red Devils came from in the first place. It became an unwritten rite of passage that anyone wanting to enlist with the Devils had to do a stint in the mines before they could join up. The Devils were always talked about in such revered tones during my training, so as soon as I was old enough, I signed up. And the eyes were my parting gift. I mean, we never spent a lot of time together. He was too busy being Fleet Admiral to deal with kids. I was raised by a pair of Guardians instead. Until his defeat during the Colony War, though, he was known as an extremely effective commander. Savvy. Perceptive. That mind opened a lot of doors for him. And for me too. But Victus, for all his ability, was heartless. Ruthless to a fault. In the end, that's what cost him his life.
Так, ну все, идем.
Then I guess it's just a matter of...
The cabinet meeting is about to begin. All parties, please proceed to the cabinet chambers.
Идем.
Sounds like our cue. Here we go. Captain, can I help you?
Кабинет министров. Сейчас будет, наверное, много текста. Прям судилище какое-то.
Ah, welcome. You must be the captain Hadrian mentioned in her report. You have our thanks for the risks you faced in securing this information.
Oh, I'm sure she did.
Yes, well, precisely how urgent is what I hope we'll determine here today. So now, we have two petitioners here making a surprising request. Access to the UC Xeno Warfare Team's Terramorph data, currently housed in the Armistice archives. A request which will require not just this body's agreement, but that of all three Armistice signatories. UC, Freestar Collective, and House Varun. Now, Captain, we've all read Hadrian's report on the subject, but we have yet to hear from you. Perhaps you could summarize for the Cabinet what it is you see as the goal of this endeavor.
Так, надо спросить.
All knowledge related to the technologies banned by the UC and the Freestar Collective after the Colony War resides in the archives, including the aforementioned Terramorph data you and Hadrian are after. I want to know what you, someone with less direct involvement in the Armistice, sees as the purpose behind granting said access.
That's quite the leap, Captain. Madam President, I object to the very premise of this meeting. While no one would argue that what happened on Tau Ceti was anything less than a tragedy, Terramorph attacks are not some sudden new threat on the horizon. They've been happening for generations. to demand we hand over banned archival knowledge and possibly upset the balance of galactic diplomacy because of a single attack seems at best panic. And at worst, a power grab by the daughter of a bloodthirsty warmonger and her associates.
I would remind the chief diplomat who he's speaking to. If it's my father you're looking to address, you're welcome to consult a medium. I would also ask, how many deaths the cabinet requires to act? 50? 50,000? Because if tragedies like Tau Ceti are just prelude to more attacks, I have no doubt you'll get the body count you require.
Let's keep this civil, shall we? And while there should be no doubt the preservation of life stands paramount among this body's duties, Chief Yassine has a point. Will a single attack, however troubling, be sufficient to convince the other factions to grant us access to what they no doubt consider weapon data? I don't think it's enough. Perhaps you can help, Captain. As the one who actually collected the sample in question, did this terramorph seem at all alarming to you?
Конечно, вызвал.
That is worth considering. This attack took place on an almost completely uninhabited world. The casualties were minimal as a result. But if there's another attack, will we be so lucky?
Yes, a fine point, Admiral. So then, Captain, given the discussion now and the information you've been privy to thus far, if you were in our position, would you grant the request made to open the archives?
Так, ну блин. Надо в любом случае открыть архивы. Нравится мне это, не нравится. По барабану. Короче,
I'm
да.
uncomfortable opening the archives without gathering more information. However, if that's the path forward you prefer, then so be it.
I'm inclined to agree.
As am I.
I suppose that does get to the heart of the point, doesn't it? Very well. I consent. The galaxy was lucky you were here today, Captain.
You and I are in agreement, Chief Diplomat. So, if there are no other objections, I believe we can agree to give our full backing to make the request to... What was that?
Что там уже случилось? Что уже происходит?
Incident. Chief Sarkin, what's happening?
Все так хорошо шло.
There's been an attack at the spaceport.
Terramorphs. Обалдеть.
Terramorphs.
Класс.
More attacks. Just as predicted.
Good God.
Damn it. They're here. Now.
There must be another explanation. The creatures evaded our scanners somehow.
There will be plenty of time for conjecture later. Chief Sarkin, order the evacuation of the spaceport and have your men contain the things, but do it discreetly. The last thing we need is a citywide
Еще не хватало.
panic. Yes, ma'am.
Admiral Logan, the local barracks can provide support?
I'll make the order myself. Nearest anti-Xeno squad, though, is off-world. Going to take a while to bring them in.
Well then, we'll have to make do with the tools we've got. You two, we can't risk those things getting out of the spaceport. I want you both on the next train there. We'll let them know you're coming and that you've dealt with these things before. Now go show them how it's done.
We're on it, ma'am. Captain, I'm right behind you. Let's get down there.
Вот попадос. Все так хорошо было, ну, недоступный. Может, кто-нибудь от... Окей. Пацаны, а вы чё? Ой, паника, паника, паника. Все, болванчики побежали, побежали, побежали. Так, чё? Угу, у вас уже бешенство, да? Я вас понял. Так. Что мне взять? Возьму-ка на ножик пока. Может, на меня сейчас люди будут нападать. Ага.
That's it. Now hit him with everything you've got.
Ладно, ко меня не трогают. Так, чё, их прям убить надо?
What are you doing? EM fire, Captain.
Ага, окей. Окей.
Another loser, another notch on my gun.
Так, окей, хорошо. Так, что-то с вас подобрать можно? Нет. Короче, вы хотите, чтобы я прям взял то оружие, которое вы мне дали, да? Вопрос, зачем? Накопируйте последовательно. Понял. Последователи электромагнитным, типа, надо было убирать. Вот я тупица. Что? Я, блин, что-то не понял. Электромагнитным же сказано было, да? Ну, электромагнитным. Лазерная винтовка. Ну, все. Да, вроде бы все. Но она встанет. Что дальше нужно сделать? Так. Время усыпить. Окей, время усыпить. Я усыпил. Говорить с ней не говорить. Так. Что делать дальше? Она сейчас проснется. Сесть я сюда не могу. Этих я поубивал. Может, тебя тоже убить? Ладно, давай я тебя убью. Только прости. Все? А, надо было убить, да? Понятно. Можно было ножиком убить.
Thank God you got here when you did. I just Wish it hadn't come to that.
Yeah, what the hell happened back there, Captain? There's no excuse for using lethal force here.
А. Да, я облажался.
Sorry doesn't bring these people back. A crisis isn't licensed to cast aside your morals. Understand?
Я
Now,
понял, я налажал, не кричи на меня.
officer, the way those people were acting, I've seen this before. They were under the Terramorph's influence, weren't they?
I don't know. They were down at the port and they just started screaming.
Немножко я напортачил.
We tried to restrain them, get them on the train to get them out of harm's way, but some of the other officers down there, we couldn't restrain them fast enough. They just started firing on us. People we knew. They went berserk.
Pheromonic projection. Some Terramorphs, they can induce this fog. It affects everyone differently, but some people just lose control, turn against everyone around them, even if they don't want to.
Короче, понятно.
They're
Из-за
like
этого
a puppet.
воздуха они становятся
You kill the
зомби,
morph,
я понял.
you break the hold. But this means we're gonna need to be real careful with our fire, and keep that EM weapon at the ready. I'm not suggesting. It's documented behavior. The result of the projection, though, can vary wildly. Some folks just shrug it off. Others hallucinate. And some lose control altogether. They'll lash out at anyone around them, but still be aware while they're doing it. Those cases, you'll either need to knock them out with EM fire, or free them by killing the Terramorph.
Понятно.
I honestly was just wondering the same thing. But no, you don't need to worry about me. I've had a Terramorph try it on me before. I'm not susceptible. So we'll just have to make sure to watch out for each other down there.
Так, понял. Ну,
Let's
пойдем.
do it.
That's unlocked. Please, do what you can to help them.
Короче, мне нужно, наверное, пушку одеть. Где она вот? Так, идем. Ну, извините, что я вас поубивал, сорян. Ну, сколько? Раз, два, три, 4, да? 4. Ну, простите. Ну, бывает. Ну, я не понял, что там нужно. Вы так неправильно объяснили.
God, no time to waste, Captain. Stash the EM and pull some firepower. Let's move.
Ага, так, спрятать теперь надо. О, боже мой. Так, что взять, что взять, что взять? Вот это возьмем. Вот это у меня нормально долбит. Не по-детски. Он 6-го левела, йо.
Watch out! Captain! It's okay. It's
Huh?
not real. Whatever you're experiencing right now, it's not real. We have to put down that floor.
А, понятно. Понятно. Психоделика начали. Все.
Can't let good resources go to waste.
Look like on the inside.
Ну, меня немножечко плющит. Чуть-чуть. Так, а чтобы меня не плющило, мне лекарство надо. Да. Так, аптечку. Пользоваться. Так, и... Имя. Так, и, наверное... Ну, у меня просто, типа, меня немножко контузило, да?
Experts? We've got the remaining creatures locked down on the landing pad, barely holding our perimeter. They said you've done this before. Well, one fire team to spare and whatever supplies you need, but I can't risk them taking over any more of my men.
Okay,
Close things down and do it fast. We'll hold them as best we can.
Хорошо. Так. Что с вами, пацаны?
Heard you might be looking for some backup. You say the word, we're out there on your 6.
You two have any experience with terramorphs before?
Only the brief they just gave on the way here, but we know how to handle pressure.
Surviving a full-on mental assault isn't the same as keeping your cool in a firefight. Might make you more liability than asset.
We're not UC security. You don't need to worry about us.
Да какое? Ну, прикрываешь меня, давай. За мной. За мной. Идём. Всё, пошли. Пояки. Так. Здесь... Ну что, ликвидировать терраморфов? Окей, хорошо. Тут ликвидация, а там терраморф. Окей. Пойдем. На меня иди. Я тебе мину поставил. Ты идешь на меня или нет? У меня патрончиков нет. Ножик. На это у меня будут патрончики? Кто мне тут? Ну, эта пушка очень слабая. А где мои чуваки, которые мне типа помогают? Все, они закончились? Я понял. Так. Инжектор. Все, убили. А, прибежали только. Вот же секунды. Так, и тут еще один терраморф, да? Сидит. Или нет? Да. Ничего нет. Нет. Стоп, ну-ка давай возьмем ножик. Пока ты там отвлечен. Так, 20.
Target down. Nice work, Captain.
It's over. Thank God. If these things reached the populated areas of the city, we would have had an absolute massacre on our hands.
Окей. Да, но патронов на них, конечно, используется очень много. А мой кораблик, он целёхенький, класс, нормально. Мне нравится.
Guess they weren't kidding about you two. Universe put the right people in the right place. Certainly doesn't feel like it. I don't want to think what would have happened if you two hadn't been here.
Just glad we could rise to the occasion. Captain, we should report back to the President. Let her know the terramorphs have been dealt with. Take care of yourself, Sergeant.
Так. И доложить президенту, да? Блин, ну я людей поубивал, но мне наезжать будет. Каждый убивца. Зачем? Зачем вы убили? Вы убивца. О, стоит в охране, да, стоит. Всё, трубки мои поубирали.
Whole building's on lockdown.
That's a relief to hear. Thank you, gentlemen. Let your people all know how much we owe them today.
When you see security loses an officer,
there you are.
I make it my responsibility
I
to
believe,
call their
Captain,
family.
Hadrian, it would appear that the Cabinet owes you our thanks for what you did for the city today. As well as an apology. Your concerns about the terramorphs, well, consider them validated.
Thank you, ma'am.
Кредиты, зачем мне кредиты? Кредиты я себе сделаю.
Of course. I only wish we could have acted sooner. Now, today's events have only clarified our path forward in the eyes of the Cabinet. You will have our full support in collecting the terramorph data from the archives, as well as a subsequent investigation into the nature of these attacks. But to accomplish those goals, we're going to need the right people in the right places. As such, the Cabinet has authorized me to reinstate you, Hadrian, effective immediately, to your former rank of Major. As soon as we've got the data in hand, we want you investigating these attacks and how to stop them. Will you do this?
Yes. Yes, ma'am. I'd be honored.
Excellent. But as you've both made clear, for such an investigation to succeed, first, we're going to need someone to convince the Freestar Collective and House Varun to play ball. Someone who knows precisely the sorts of dangers the colonies and all the galaxy are facing right now. The Cabinet wants you, Captain, to be that representative.
Okay.
The Cabinet wants progress, and wants it quickly. You're already far more familiar with the situation than any diplomat would be. There's also no diplomat alive that can claim they helped keep a cadre of terramorphs off the embassy doorsteps. The cabinet was unanimous. They want you.
Окей. Они хотят меня.
We do. In exchange, we're willing to fast-track your citizenship upon collection of the data. So, will you help us?
Да, конечно.
It has its perks. Only citizens can purchase property in the city. We also pay reduced prices on most goods and services across the UC. There's also a credit disbursement when you first join. Help get you on your feet. But above all, you'd become a dedicated part of the greatest faction in the galaxy. If you're willing to help us, we can open that door. I'm glad to hear it. Now, we, of course, won't be sending you in without the proper support. Deputy McIntyre in the Office of Interstellar Affairs will be your guide on gaining access to the archives. You should be able to find her in her office across the hall.
Okay.
And on behalf of the whole of the United Colonies, you have our thanks. You're dismissed.
Damage to the spaceport.
I'm gonna go
Costs
check
of
in
this
with Chief
attack are
Engineer
greater than I think
Kulkarni.
we realize.
Start getting a plan together for that data.
Так, поговори с депутатом. Пойду поляляка.
There are so many different groups across the settled systems, it's hard to...
А, тут офис.
Guess?
Прикольный. Да.
Great. I'm traveling with a criminal.
Ой, властная не успела накрадишься. Извини, извини. Даже так.
That must make you my Vanguard captain. Welcome to Interstellar Affairs. I'm Deputy Chief Diplomat McIntyre, Chief Yassine's second-in-command. I heard you were instrumental in protecting the city from the attack. You have my gratitude. I was also informed that you gave quite the presentation to the cabinet. Chief Yassine wants you to know the Interstellar Affairs Office is fully committed to this endeavor, accessing the Terramorph data and beyond. We're going to do everything in our power to make sure you have the tools you need. And that means first getting you into the archives. You do know what the archives are, correct?
Mm-hmm.
It was a mutual agreement, but I suppose you touch on the spirit of it. So, you also know then that it was originally managed by the 3 major galactic players. Access to the archives is only granted in cases of dire emergency, and requires a one-time use code from each of the 3 armistice signatories. UC, Freestar Collective, and House Varun. Now, the UC is already on board, so that means we'll need to convince 2 people. The ambassadors of the Freestar Collective and House Varun to hand over their codes. Get them both and you'll have your data. But that's a lot easier said than done.
Okay.
No. Each is a strip of several million random numbers generated on the fly based on biometric keys kept by each of the ambassadors on their person at all times. They're impossible to create without those keys, and those keys stay with the ambassadors, meaning we're accessing nothing if we can't get them on our side.
Значит, мне нужно еще кого-то уговаривать.
I couldn't agree more. However, both ambassadors have reasons they won't, or can't, work with us. Now, I'll provide guidance on how we believe you can acquire each code, but ultimately, it'll be up to you to get them both to cooperate. And I do mean cooperate. Threats and violence are off the table here. Though that doesn't mean we can't get creative. But it does mean we need to get you up to speed on who you're dealing with. Who do you want to start with? Ambassador Radcliffe of Freestar, or Ambassador Balmore of House Varun?
Ну, давай попробуем.
The good Ambassador Radcliffe. She's a veteran of the Colony War, and her only goal in life is to make ours miserable. Now, officially, our office is suggesting you try and negotiate with her. Use your experiences as a member of the military and with the threat we're facing to convince her to lend her support. And who knows? Maybe that'll work. Stranger things have happened. But my suspicion is we're going to have to rely on other tools to get her code.
Так.
Certainly. See, good diplomacy is all about the careful application of pressure. We just need to find the squeeze. UC Intelligence has a recording device planted in the ambassador's living quarters, which we suspect you can use to your advantage. But getting caught trespassing is a quick way to land yourself in an embassy holding cell. So, if you are going to try and access the device, you're going to need to find a way in there without being seen. Now, we recovered some intel we believe should be able to help with that. But there's also a disgruntled staff member you might be able to pump for information. Maybe even convince to work with you. Name's Cameron Long. He's younger than Ratcliffe, bears less of a grudge towards the UC. He works closely with the ambassador, making him a promising source for information on the ins and outs of embassy life, and someone who very likely hates her guts. Yes, many. Don't steal anything. Don't get caught anywhere you're not supposed to. Absolutely do not harm anyone. If something goes wrong, we'll do our best to smooth things over, but I can't make any promises.
Капец, никого не убивать, сделать все чистенько, красивенько. Тихоря в стелсе. У меня оно ничего не прокачано.
And take these. Chief Yassine wanted you to have some options on how to proceed in there. Ambassador Balmore's a challenge. When the rest of House Varun retreated into seclusion shortly after the signing of the armistice, Balmore stayed here. He's since lent his support to a small number of archival requests, so there's real hope he might again. Though claiming to know how a member of House Varun thinks is a quick way to earn yourself a psych eval. Well, these days, they're primarily considered a security threat. House Varun Zealots, a fundamentalist outshoot of the group that stayed behind when the rest retreated into seclusion, want nothing more than to send everyone not dedicated to their cause to the great serpent in the sky. But that hasn't always been the case. After they ended the Serpent's Crusade about 70 years back, House Varun did take a real run at trying to normalize relations with the rest of the galaxy. It's why they have an embassy here in the first place, why they were included in the armistice negotiations. But then, without warning, they left, leaving behind, to our knowledge, just the ambassador and his duty under the armistice. It does, but there's a concern. We're not 100% sure Balmore's actually still alive. His public appearances were always rare, but it's been several years now since he last poked his head out. Scans of the facility show life signs, but not the kind we were expecting. Your task is to find him and kindly but firmly remind him of his duties under the armistice. The Varun delegation brought more than a few of their native flora with them when they set up in the embassy. It seems those plants have been allowed to flourish, making it hard for us to verify what's flora and what's ambassador.
Он стал флорой?
The embassy is still legally House Varun's sovereign territory, so we're not technically permitted inside. We've snuck in the occasional spy, of course, but the ambassador has proven more evasive than you'd expect for a man of his age. But we're quite sure he hasn't left the city. The man stands out. Then you search the embassy for his biometric key, collect your code piece, and we'll go about notifying his next of kin, if we can ever find them. But let's hope it doesn't come to that.
Okay.
I have no doubt. Now, the embassy front door isn't an option, but our spies have stated there's a side entrance that should allow you access. Here, this device should get you all the way down to the embassy interior. Once you're inside, though, finding the ambassador is going to be up to you. And fair warning, we received a report that alarms might have been tripped inside the embassy during the attacks. Watch out for automated security in there. Now, if you have additional questions or require clearance for a new approach we haven't already discussed, don't hesitate to ask. I'd suggest you start with Ambassador Radcliffe. Approach her while the attack is still fresh in her and her staff's mind. Be smart out there, Captain.
Окей. Хорошо. Пойдем попробуем. Так.
Enough of this. Give it back now.
Addy?
То есть воровать прям нельзя, да?
Stop right there. You see security. Smart move. Now come along with us. We'll take any contraband and stolen property, and you'll be free to go.
Какой же ты мудак. То, что я натырил, все забрали. Ладно. Так, мне нужно найти магазин, чтобы я что-то купил.
By the way, Captain, Sergeant Yumi was
Где здесь магазин?
Sounds like he's got more work. You see that scientist out in front of Matt? Be that bad, right?
Это что?
Keep moving.
Мне нужен магазин. Так, получить код. Поговорить с барменом. Вот, барменом. Где у нас бармен? Так, вон там где-то бармен. Пойдем, бармен.
You will be scanned as you enter the city. Please.
Hey there. Always nice to see a new face. First time in New Atlantis? Oh boy, I didn't mean for you to take it personally. It's just something to say to customers. Break the ice, know what I mean? Listen, you just relax. Make yourself comfortable. You're welcome to stay as long as you want. That work for you, new guy? Let me know if there's anything I can get you. Yep. Spaceport traffic keeps me pretty busy. But just between you and me, I've got something in the works that'll change everything. A new drink that'll make this place famous. Galaxy-wide. You would love it, I guarantee. Only, I can't make you one right now. Don't have the ingredients.
Мне
I
тебе
made a
еще
deal
нужны
with
ингредиенты
Holler to
принести,
bring me
я
some
понял.
small samples of an ingredient I think will make all the difference. But it never showed up. Turns out the guy I hired was also hired by a few other folks. The kind of folks who ship less than legal cargo. Security got wind, and the whole lot was impounded. Now they're just sitting on it, taking their sweet time like they always do. It's killing me. I submitted all the paperwork, believe me. It won't amount to anything.
Ну, короче, ты
but
меня
I
сейчас
did.
заставишь пойти
And really, I'm not even certain
принести
this is what I
виноград,
need
да?
to finish the recipe. I think it is. I need to get my hands on that cargo. I mean, doing something about this won't exactly be on the straight and narrow, will it?
Угу.
I really do. It's gonna keep me awake nights if I don't try. Before we say anything else, I am in no way asking you to do anything that might violate any of the many, many laws in place here in New Atlantis or the larger United Colonies. This is just one friend talking to another friend, asking if maybe that friend could possibly find a way to get her
Ну,
important
смогу,
cargo
да,
out
я
of the impound.
смогу, да, да.
And if, hypothetically, that were done in a less than 100% legal way, well, that might not be the worst thing in the world.
Понятно.
You, with me on this?
Surely you're not seriously considering this course of action. The last thing we need is UC security on our backs.
Ну, блин, а как же ж...
What?
Надо кого-то убить?
Come on, no. I'm already uncomfortable with this whole thing. Don't go making jokes like that. Seriously, can you help me with this or not?
Ну ладно, давай.
God, you have no idea what a relief this is. I'm obviously not expecting you or anyone to go in guns blazing and taking hostages or something. I just figure there has to be a way to get what I need. Like I said, I submitted the usual security release forms. But because my cargo is tied up with a bunch of, again, totally unrelated illegal stuff, I don't expect the forms to matter. At all. I went and talked to an officer at the office, too. Yumi. Sergeant, maybe? He was polite, but unhelpful. I declined to suggest that as their new slogan. New Atlantis Security. Polite, but unhelpful. Truth in advertising, eh?
Там, где надо будет на другую систему, типа, лететь? В смысле, планету? Из другой планеты ввести, на меня же там будут сканировать.
I know a few things, but not much. The cargo is being held down at the spaceport, not in the security office. Still, they use the same access cards. If you had one, it'd work. How or why you would have a UC security access card is none of my business, of course. I'm sure I'm better off not knowing. Beyond that, the ship decks over there might also be able to get in. I don't know any of them, or I'd be talking to them instead of you. No offense.
No.
I'm not worried. I'm annoyed. Wait, are you saying I should be worried? No, of course not. It'll be fine. Totally fine. I trust you. I'm obviously not expecting you or anyone to go in guns blazing and taking hostages or something. I just figure there has to be a way to get what I need.
Короче, надо на стелсе будет это делать.
Stop by anytime you'd like to catch up.
Там.
Pardon?
Так, окей. Нет. Главное. Так, ну пробуем. Она находится в космодроме где-то аж там. Да? Вот здесь? Или вот здесь? Ага. Рядышком. У меня стелс, конечно же, не вкачанный, потому что я исследователь. Воровство не вкачано. Я сейчас тогда буду проникать, и мне скажут: чувак, уходи. А у него можно что-то своровать, к примеру? Я там было воровство.
I asked my boss what they're doing to stop new alien attacks on the city. He said top.
Я могу пойти?
Hey, this really isn't a good place for civilians to be hanging around. There's something I can help you with?
Так.
Oh, security impounded a ton of cargo and didn't have storage space for it all, so we're holding on to some of it until they can run inventory. So, you need something, or...? Not really sure. Whenever they get through their backlog, I guess. There a reason you're asking? Yeah... I can't really just let you in there.
Перегатор людини потрібно зробити вдалий вибір. Вибір може бути різний від відволікання вани до погроз. Кожен вибір зв'язаний з певним. Чим вища складність. Вибір буде невдалим. Варіантів, які можуть. You
don't know what you're talking about. Look, I'd like to help, but... I'm trying to be reasonable here. Alright, look, don't tell anyone I did this for you. I could lose my job over it. If anyone asks, I had nothing to do with this. You got it?
Окей. Я не понял, как мне это получилось.
1 second. All right, make it quick, will you?
Еще можно глянуть? Вроде бы как бы нет. Вау.
Don't be stupid. Stop now. You see security. Don't make any sudden moves.
Ой.
Good. We don't need any more trouble today.
Searched and thrown in a cell. Not my idea of a good time.
Загрузка. 7:20. Мне надо будет сейчас опять туда подходить. 13 минут. Ой. Так, окей, мы идем к барменше, говорим с барменшей. Берем ее заказ.
Hey there. Always nice to see a new face. Oh boy. Listen, that work for you? Let me know if there's any. Yep. Space. I've got some. You would love it, I guarantee. I made a deal with her, but it never showed up. Security got wind. I submitted all the papers. And really, I need to get my hands on them. I really do. Before we say it, I am in no way asking you to do it. This is just one friend, and if you, surely you...
Да, все будет.
What? Come on. Seriously. God, you have... I'm obviously not expecting... Like I said, I went and talked New Atlanta Security.
Давай, проматывайся.
I know a few things, but the cargo, how or why, beyond that, no offense. I'm not worried. I'm annoyed. Wait, are you saying I should... Catch you later.
Так. И теперь... Мне нужно... Окей. Идем пробовать. Да, но там такая вкусная штука лежит. Ее бы украсть.
Hey, this really isn't a good... There's something I can help? Oh, so, you need something? Not really sure. Yeah...
Это я понял.
I hear you. I don't get it. Sorry, but I can't. I'm gonna need you to clear out of here, or else I'll have to call security.
By the way, Captain, Sergeant Yumi was looking for you. Sounds like he's got more work.
Hey, try and be careful, okay? Don't want a ship landing on your head.
Ну как мне туда позабраться теперь? Так.
Ooh, I hope the data on there was worth all of the trouble.
Так, и все, это было так изи. Вообще класс. Я уж распереживался.
You will be scanned as you enter the city. Please keep
Hey there, new guy. Good to see you again. Can I get you something? Oh, no way. You really got it? I probably don't want to know what you did to get this, right? I mean, I want to know, but it's maybe better if I don't. I certainly hope not. This is a huge deal to me, but it's not worth either of us murdering over. Well, look, I can assure this will all be worth it in the end. Matter of fact, I'm going to let you have the first ever sample. On top of that, you get free drinks. Not like unlimited free drinks, but you want a little pick-me-up now and then? I got you covered. I need some time to work on what comes next. But this was the difficult part, I think. Really? Thank you so much.
Отлично.
Well, that's what I'm here for. What'll it be?
Так. Мои кредиты всего лишь 65 тысяч. Фигня. Ничего не хочу.
See you around.
Так, отлично. И еще есть. Или, наверное, я на этом закончу этот стримчанский. Я там и, короче, терраморфов пострелял, и тут, короче, украл то, что надо. И никто меня не спалил. Хотя я один раз перезагрузил. Да. Потому что и пачка. Но ничего, это будет получше. Спасибо, кто был на стриме. Стрим опубликуется, наверное, через денек. Да, или может завтра. Посмотрю, сейчас подумаю. Все, всем спасибо, кто был со мной. Всем до новых встреч в Starfield.